Hello marketers, good morning. Welcome to our live streaming on top Dutch ads of Q1. We've measured a lot of ads, mostly TV, but also some bigger social campaigns like video campaigns. And each of these ads we tested on a separate sample of 500 people, representative to the Dutch population, also the category buyers for each product. And that's it. That's the basics, and the agenda is pretty simple for today. First, we start with a really short introduction into what makes TV ads work, how they convert to sales, and how to measure it properly, because there are worse and better methods, basically because what people say is not what people really do. So you have to use behavioral methods to really predict properly or measure properly the ad impact of TV ads. So just 5 or 7 minutes introduction, and then we're gonna have awards. We're gonna have best emotion, best branding, best message delivery, because as we'll see in a while, these are one of the main drivers of the effect of the ads. We're gonna have an ad over the quarter and also a small brand spotlight, and yeah, so that's the plan. And just shortly about Behavio, we're easy way to supercharge your ad impact with behavioral science, because what people say is not what people do. So we took the best methods, modern methods of how to measure ads and make it easy, make it affordable, make it scalable. Here you can see some of our clients. They usually love us. So it's gonna be just as I said, just a really short introduction. If you like what we're doing, if you like to dive deeper into that, there's a lot of possibilities to meet us really and have a proper interactive session. We're gonna have some Q&A today, but it's still more live streaming. So this cracking creative effectiveness, which is like regular next session we're gonna have in 2 weeks. This like for 2.5 hours, really deep dive, interactive, like with Google Meet. In a small group where we're gonna talk about what we talked today in much higher detail. Then those of you who are close to Amsterdam, we'll be really happy to see you in our ad effectiveness breakfast, which is taking place in the second half of May. I think we will have the proper dates tomorrow. So after we send an email after this session, there's already gonna be a proper date, so that would be great to meet you in person. It's going to be in one of the skyscrapers in Amsterdam with the best view over all the city. So, and great breakfast. So happy to meet you there. And also we're going to be at NIMA Marketing Day in June in Utrecht, having a talk there and a booth. So again, another opportunity to meet us. As I've said, we're gonna have a Q&A session and also some polls during this streaming. So make sure you either see this already next to your video if you're watching us through the website, or you can use those codes to log in to the Slido, ask questions, and use the polls. Okay, let's start. So first, before we have the awards, what makes a TV ad work and how to measure it? What people say is not what people do. What does it mean? It means that the first obvious way how people try to measure ads, if not by clicks, those long-term brand building ads, it was to a thing called purchase intention, which is basically a question similar to this. After seeing this ad, how likely are you to buy this brand? And you can have different options, but usually it's like, I'm more likely, okay, same as before, less likely. So there's a problem. It's actually worse than no testing at all, because this is a recent study published last year. During the years that this rational oriented pretesting prevailed, those companies that were pretesting saw a smaller market share growth than those who didn't pretest at all. It has changed recently because behavioral methods and emotional testing has been prevailing since then. So it's changed, but really most of the solutions still use even these declarative questions, and I strongly suggest not to rely on them, because what they do is they really change your creative strategy. People are much more likely to say, I'm more likely to buy you after seeing this ad if you have some new product information, some reason that people are like, okay, maybe I'm gonna buy it. But this is not how ads work. Let's see how they really work and what should you be trying to optimize in your ad. And really, this is a concrete case study we did for an energy drink. If you pretest with those proper methods and then use the same media spend for those creatives, it can be a huge difference in how the same creative with the same media spend can build your awareness if you're a small brand, or some other ways of mind share if you're a big brand. So in one case you can have 3 percentage points lift, and in the other it could be 20. So it's a huge amplifier of your ad money. The principles start with the realization that we have 2 systems of thinking, slow and fast, system 1 and system 2. And the system 1, the fast thinking, is the one that is behind 95% of our actual buying decision. How it works is basically you have a trigger. So it's usually an occasion, life occasion, buying occasion, like I want to have a breakfast or buy something for breakfast. And then the strong brands are already spontaneously coming to the mind within really milliseconds. And you want to be there. You want to be, that's the goal of brand building, of TV ads, to really be in proper buying triggers, this brand that is coming fast to mind. And really mind share wins market share here. So those brands who, like this spreadable cheese arrow, have the fastest and strongest, like fast connections between those occasions, or sometimes benefits to the brand, they win. Which of those connections you choose, that's a problem of strategy. We're not gonna talk about that today, but basically what ad is supposed to do is to create some of these links stronger. So like the link between spreadable cheese and arrow, or whatever benefit, and that's what we can measure in quite a lot of detail now, whether there's a strong subconscious fast link, and a new one that is stronger than it was before the people watched the ads. How these links are created? A simple neuroscience rule: neurons that fire together wire together. So you basically need 3 things in an ad. You want to show the brand in a way that people really recall it, so it's really visible. If you have 30-second ads, there's a huge difference in whether you show it in just 1 second or the whole 30 seconds you can recognize the brand. So brand, on the other, you want to connect this with the need. So the same is with the need. You want to show, for example, the breakfast or spreadable cheese, whatever is your message. And show it as long as possible in a TV ad. And then the third part is emotion. And the main reason why you need emotion is that there's so many ads today, so many distractions, so many informations all over, and we don't pay attention to most of them. When there's a commercial break, you may go to the kitchen, so you maybe see just one part of it. Whatever. The higher the emotion, the higher the attention. Usually there's a strong correlation between whether we feel something and whether we pay attention to it. So whether it's laughter or joy or fear, whatever, it makes us pay attention. So we usually dwell longer. We're with today with 30-second spot, we usually only pay attention on average 13 seconds to the spot. Is better than on digital, but still not great. So if you're able to get the emotion high right from the start, people will watch longer, and it's basically an amplifier of the connection between the new connection between the brand and need. Also, when we feel like strong emotion, we remember things like stronger. So again, the link is built more effectively. So emotion is basically an amplifier for the new link in between those two. Let's watch this with some example, like this recent ad. So as you can see, we measure all these three things. There's a lot of details. Let's go into that later. I'll first play you the ad, and you will see also the second by second curves of these three important drivers. So let's play it.
Daar zijn ze. Dat loopt lekker gesmeerd. Met Eru goudkuipje.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's a pretty decent ad. Strong in emotion. This is relative, so it means that it's better than 73% of ads, of all Dutch ads of all time. That's good. It's above average. That's why it's green. But also you can see that this emotional curve is stronger later in the ad, which is good, but the best ads should have a stronger peak at the beginning, because that's where people basically subconsciously decide whether they will stay with the ad. But good. Need in this case is the connection with the category of the breakfast, and we can see here what's the need. It's spread with cheese. So really 70% of people, way more than the average, after seeing this ad, or remember that this was for spread with cheese, and that it's like spread smoothly. That's not as strong here. And here you can see it second by second. So again, there's pretty strong basics for one part of the neurons that fire together, wire together. We can see that branding is not as good here, and the main problem is the early branding. As you can see here, only 10% of the viewers are able to recall spontaneously the brand after watching the first 5 seconds. You can see the whole curve here. So again, that's something that if you edit in even post-production, usually our clients are able to do a lot, or agencies in post-production after they pre-test the video, and by just putting a logo here, it can get better, and it helps because, as I've said, a lot of people tune out and don't stay until the end of the ad, so it will help here. So that's it. That's for basically the basic explanation. Maybe I would just mention shortly how we measure these, some of these curves. The branding curve here is measured by, before we play the whole ad, we just randomly apply a snippet to each respondent, so each of them sees a different 3-5 second snippet of the ad, and they're supposed to type down spontaneously the name of the brand that this was for, and this is how we create this. So in this case, here at the end, almost 100% of people who saw that part were able to properly type down the name of the brand, and just 10 at the beginning. Emotionless with emojis, with 500 people, it's getting pretty close to the EEG data. So, and it's much, you have 500 people, so you can go into details of the category buyers. And also it allows us then to replay the scene when they had the strongest emotion, and ask them for a fast association, and that's allowing us to see those cool insights into what's causing the positive and negative reactions, and that's useful when you want to make ads better during the process. Okay, so that's it. So that's for the methodology, and now let's look into some best ads. And let's start with those 3 awards: best emotion, best branding, best message delivery. What I'm gonna do is to play you some ads and always ask you if you think this ad win best emotion or best branding or best message delivery. Let's start with the little ad and think about that we're gonna have a poll. Which awards does it deserve?
De Lidl-deals XXL zijn er weer.
Zal ik anders 2 flessen meenemen?
Ho! Dus je krijgt nu nog meer Lidl voor je geld.
Kom maar.
Wilt u pinnen?
Ja.
Is toch niet normaal meer?
Nu extra goedkoop. 100% pindakaas. Een emmer van wel 1 kilo voor maar €3,99. En een zak koffiepads. 46 pads voor maar €2,79. Lidl, de hoogste kwaliteit voor de laagste prijs.
So what do you think? Was it best in branding, best in emotion, best in message delivery? In this case, would be get more for the same price. We need to wait a while because there's some delay with the streaming until you hear me all. Best branding, best emotion, best message delivery. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It definitely wasn't bad at any of these. Okay, it seems that most of you have already voted. No new. Okay, so it was tricky. All the answers are right. Actually, little wins everything. It was from all the ads we measured from Q1. It was best in branding, best in message delivery, best at the motion, and that makes it the ad of the quarter. So let's look into the detail right now. Let's look into the platform. Let's start with the motion. As you can see here on the green curve, this is what we really like to see with the ads, because it's like originally the traditional story arc of the ad was to build up to some climax, to some revelation, so the emotional peaks were typically somewhere close to the end. It doesn't work anymore with the limited attention people have. So this is really great at starting strong and having multiple emotional peaks right from the start, so people are really getting into it. They want to watch more. You're repeating the idea, so people apparently love this idea of the big items. As you can see here, really you can go even into the details. I find it funny to make everything XXL, so there's a lot of people who find it funny. As you can see here, mega packages, it's what's their first association, why they like the moment. And okay, few of the people, but there's always some bad emotions. This is not anything important. It's quite easy to understand and really distinctive, so people don't think this is a cliche. They haven't seen something like that many times before, apparently. So great job, and it's really great to see multiple emotional peaks all the way until the end. Great job. Then neat. In this case, the message we measured the recall for was get more for the same price. Again, 70% of the people got this message, and it was throughout most of the ads. So really, you're using all the 30 or how many seconds to use this principle. So really, neurons that fire together, you have one part definitely covered well. And then the branding, and that's something I really loved here. Some of the tricks, hacks they used. As you can see with the branding, again, it's super high. It's super high during all the ad. This is rarely to be seen. It's almost, there's no peaks. It's just high all over. And let me now replay the ad. I'll click here for the attention heat map as well, and watch. So basically, you have in those emotional peaks. That's what people remember. Often the mistake is that you have the emotional peak, but that's the lowest branding. No, it's here. It's great. It's all together. So that's great. That's making the impact much higher. But also how they're making the brand recall so high. And let's watch where people actually look, where they tend to look throughout.
De Lidl deals XXL zijn er
So
weer.
they typically watch
twee
human
flessen meenemen?
faces, also the big items, and as you can see, maybe I'll stop it at some moments. Let's look here. So people are looking here, and there's always, as you can see, the little bag here. The angle of the camera is almost always in a way that in the direction where people are actually looking. There's the branding. So it's here, it was before again, was right behind, here, is even twice, really close to that. So it really, that matters because if you had, given that Lidl is big brand, still even a logo in a corner would work, but this is definitely making it stronger, and that's why I won. So it was a great idea here, but also great execution, and the details matter as well. And those are the details you can now totally get better after pre-testing. So it's not just about the idea, the real ad impact is not just the creativity at the beginning, but a lot of details like that that make this memory building so strong. So yeah, like it was really, really, really great advertising work here. What now? Because all the awards have been handed over. Unfortunately, that makes let's make it the ceremony really, really brief. So I think what I'll do now, before we go to the small brand spotlight, I'll show you some of the ads I have here. Start with Heineken, always showing what they could grade and some problems they have, so we can learn from the campaigns. Here, the Heineken zero alcohol is, for example, really good in message delivery. So they were really able to show the zero alcohol message in a way that everyone gets it, though the emotion is quite weak. Again, meaning that people don't like it much. They won't remember the ads that much. Let's play it and then let's dive into the details. Okay, it doesn't do anything. Let's click again. Sorry.
Guys, still working, eh? Take tomorrow off. Keys.
Okay, so as you can see, the strongest part here is the zero alcohol message. It's not as strong as in Lidl's case, but again, a really good work here. And that's, for example, I think, judging from outside the strategy here, it's a good work that they managed to have the branding and it right. So neurons that fire together, wire together, good. Though really a lot of people, as you can see, it's not that people really dislike the ad. Some of they do. It's typically because they don't want even the alcohol-free beer to be connected to work, whatever. So that's, I guess, hard to change for you as creative or brand managers or whatever. But it's basically people don't find funny. So again, that's a problem of the idea. Maybe it could be made a little bit strong here, but still a decent ad. It will definitely work for the brand. It's just not amplified that much with the emotion. Sometimes when you see it here, you can basically find some ideas how to change it. In this case, it's more connected to the basic idea, drinking the work, beer work. So that's hard to change. And it's also maybe some of the people who feel bad about this didn't get the message. But as you can see, it was just a few of them. Okay, so that was Heineken with great, again, the principle of showing the message here and the brand together with the faces worked quite well if you look into the attention layers. Okay, let's have this Uber Eats song.
Ben je aan een pauze toe?
Eerst iets lekkers,
Vind je haar leuk? Ze heeft geen clue.
eerst iets lekkers.
Frans als rapper, dit is hoe ik het doe. Eerst iets lekkers, lekker Uber Eats. Al je lievelingsgerechten in één app. Eerst iets lekkers, lekker Uber Eats.
So in this case, we're already seeing the ad, which maybe was a waste of money or definitely a lost opportunity, because not like all of the drivers are somewhat weak here. Let's look into this. So emotion. Let's look into that. It's like still quite a lot of people like it, but it's quite like we don't see 10% of people who really don't like it often. That's quite rare here. Perhaps it's connected to the divisive celebrity here. Franz Bauer apparently a lot of people don't like. Too much, annoying, weird melody, whatever. So it's definitely a risky and dividing idea here. So if you want to go after the high reach, and maybe what I'll do here is to look at the category buyers, because this is what really you want to target. So it's, as you can see, it's getting better, but still you have a problem need. So the people who are into who are buying delivery services are, perhaps they're younger, whatever, they like it more. So it's getting better immediately. Still, as you can see, not strong enough to really use it as a super amplifier for this. One of the problems here is that people really find the ad easy to understand, and that's connected a lot to emotion. When we struggle to get it, when it's hard to process it in the brain, we immediately like it less. And that's also as well getting the message delivery lower. So that was the emotion. Let's look into the needs. And here we chose as a main message the food delivery, and that's why we did it. Because as you can see here, Uber Eats is a small brand. They just have they're connected to the food delivery much weaker than brands like Fling and others. And if you're a small brand, you definitely need to make sure that you are getting linked with your ad to the category itself, so that people know when to think about you in the first place. So this is really something you need to have higher, because you can have some detailed message. In this case, it was first something tasty. It's better, definitely. It's still average, but at the same time, you need to make sure that those light buyers, the people who don't know about you, they may know Uber, but they don't know about Uber Eats. So it's really important that they connect you to the category and then to some more detailed message. So in that case, it's a lost opportunity. And as you can see, you have to be sometimes more straightforward. There's a lot of people eating at home, but apparently because you don't show someone delivering the food to them, they don't connect this with the food delivery. And that means that people won't be thinking about you as a possibility for that subconsciously in that fast thinking, even though they might be thinking, oh, Uber Eats, that sounds like delivery, but it's not in the fast brain. So that was Uber Eats. And then let's show you this. This is a social ad, not a TV ad. So you may argue that it's for a very small specific target group that likes it. There were definitely people who liked it a lot and who may put likes and engage with the ad and share it, whatever. But if you look at the high reach or even the category buyers, it's really, really low here. Again, a lot of people who really don't like it. And if you look into that, it's even the young people. I think this is supposed to appeal mainly to them. Even the people who are like 20-ish find it annoying, barely describes what actually new. It's the strategy behind the need, what it should connect it to, is also like unclear. So again, this is a risky move, and I suggest now this is really, you can test it within days, and it's really affordable. And I suggest that you do this for social as well, because again, if you just look at it into whether people like it or not, you're discounting a lot of people that actually see it on socials, and if they feel that this is cringe, it doesn't help the brand that much. And most of the people are those who are just watching it, who don't interact, who you hardly get the reactions from, and apparently most of them don't like it that much. But as I say, this is we had to look into the real strategy of that. This is more a outsider look. Okay, let's end on this part with again with the really good ad, which was aired recently, but it's an older ad. That's why it didn't win any of the prizes, but over the Lidl. But actually, it was better at some of them, at Emotion, for example, than the Lidl one. So again, a really good example how to align those three drivers in one campaign.
Time flies. Who knows what dreams lie beyond the horizon as we sail on through the sky like birds up high.
Great campaign. They're using nostalgia as an emotional strategy here. It works all the time. We see it working all over and over again. It's really strong. We have some brain wirings that make us feel really like emotionally engaged when we see these nostalgic events and how life is developing. So again, it works in a way that there's a strong peak at the beginning. The branding is strong most of the time, and the category here, airlines, are really shown strongly. If there was some other message behind, we don't know, but overall this is a really great piece of brand building for a big ad, big brand. Sorry. Let's now turn into the sorry, I'll jump over these small brands, because as you can see, the winners are usually the big brands, and unfortunately this is almost by the definition that the small brands can have the most effective ads. And let's see why, and also what to do with that possibly. So first, this is our data from measuring a lot of ads. There's a correlation in between how the branding is important for the effectiveness compared to emotion and the need to deliver. And the smaller you are, the more important the strong branding is. So let's say if you were little and have slightly worse branding, it's bad, but it's not as bad as if you're a small brand and your brand recall is smaller, because this curve or this line, this correlation line, is steeper the smaller the brand is. So really, if you want to challenge some big players, you need to make sure that your brand recall is really strong. It's more important than emotion. It's more important than other parts of that. But also, there's a problem. The brand recall is actually much harder for small brands. What we did, we tested a lot of we took this picture and put there a lot of different logos in the corner, and some of those brands were really well known, some of those brands were lesser known. And as you can see, there's again a correlation in between whether our people, these were not the same people, so it's one respondent, one picture, and the bigger the brand size, the bigger the brand recall. So really what it means that for big brands, showing the logo may be enough. For small brands, totally not. So really, those things together, what they mean, super strong branding is everything for small brands in ads. Let's now look into the, maybe I'll show it straight away in the platform. This Mikazu, where was it? Here. So Mikazu, as you know, is a competitor to Booking, Airbnb. It's a small brand in terms of awareness and penetration. So it really needs the branding super strong. As you can see here, even when they mention the brand in the voiceover and show the logo, it's not enough. Though they have a great emotion, showing those beautiful places.
Een huis dat goed is in... Bommetjes! Kijk, dat is voor Wessel nou een huis dat goed is in vakantie. Meer dan 10.000 huizen die goed zijn in vakantie. Je vindt die van jou op mikazoo.nl.
Yeah, so as you can see, one would say that there's enough branding. There's logo at the beginning, logo at the end, and it still doesn't work. So the learning here is really, when you think you have enough of branding and you're a small brand, you don't. You always need more. That's why brand assets, brand codes work well. If you, for example, choose some mascot or color or sonic branding, something you can use all over the ad, it can help you at least put the logo in the corner. Again, it's not enough. As you could see, it doesn't work as well as for bigger brands, but it does at least anything. We go a lot into the strategies, how to make the branding stronger in our, I already mentioned the cracking creative effectiveness like training, so there's more. But definitely the learning is, if you want to have effective ad and multiply your ad dollars and your small brand, it's not just about whether people like the ad, it's a lot about whether they recall it was your brand from most of the seconds of your ad. Okay, I think that was a lot of ads already. If you want to see more of these, you can either ask for that in the Q&A. We can go to some other ads as well, or we'll share, if you want, some of these with you. If you ask us, we can have a like separate talks on some of those ads, or even share it with you from the workspace. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something from that. Congratulations again to mainly Lidl, as they won most of the categories here. And not the case with Lidl in other countries. They often have the problem with branding. So this Dutch Lidl made a really great work here. Okay, let me remind you. Sorry, this Slido codes. If you're still not there, please ask your questions. Again, let me remind you that we can meet and talk this into bigger detail, either remotely or in Amsterdam or in Utrecht. We'll send the links in the email after this. We can share all the other ads if you want. Please ask. And let's see your questions. Okay, good morning as well. Do you think traditional TV ads will have the same impact in the next 3-5 years, or are we shifting towards digital first strategies? It's really hard to predict because, for example, Google predicted in 2007 that TV will be dead in 5 years, and so far TV is still the most effective medium for most of the categories. And Google is one of the biggest TV advertisers in the US. So I think anytime someone predicted that the TV will be dead soon, they were wrong. But frankly, it's getting, like, in the last years, it's really the situation at least changed, that if you just have TV, it's not enough. It's getting complicated, and you somehow have to be present in all the different channels. Though I think that what is important to stress, that the TV strategies, how to make good TV ad, they apply to socials as well. Often people think that if they're on TikTok, they need to use all the TikTok trends and whatever. no, it's still, you should be distinctive. You should look like your brand. It's not that you look like other great creatives on TikTok. You need to look like you. And again, you're building mindshare. So you need to think about high reach there, about all these three things. So having the TV mindset, though apparently the fight for attention is even tougher on social, so it's not that people watch the first 10 seconds, it's that they watch the first 1.5 seconds. So everything has to be faster, but other than that, it works quite similar. And so that's one thing. And frankly, my guess is that TV will still be very important in 5 years, though less than today, because a lot of the regular watchers will be older or not with us anymore, and yes, younger generations are watching it less and less. Based on your measures, have you noticed any particular trigger or storytelling structure that consistently leads to higher recall or engagement? Animals. Many times we tested average ad, and just adding a cute dog there or whatever made the emotion much stronger. So yeah, but again, sometimes it's gets too cliche, it's not that distinctive. So, but if you're asking for something that works, that would be that one. There's other things. There's definitely some ways of editing, fast one, but not that fast, but fast edits sometimes work. Definitely human faces and voices are bringing, so if you're comparing, but that's not a problem with TV ads as much, but often some online video product ads that you just basically show the product. Always it's better to show, even if you have a product ad, show faces there more than you would like to have a engaging voiceover. If you have a really emotional voiceover, it could sonic branding and the sonic part of the ads is often undervalued, and so distinctive voice can as well help. Other than that, as I've said, don't use the traditional story arc, which is start low, build tension, build expectations. No time for that nowadays. Start strong. What is your opinion on the effectiveness of both highs and lows of emotion in ads? Will it create a more effective ad than a constant emotional charge? Frankly, we haven't seen many ads that would have constant emotional charge. It's so I wouldn't say that this is worse than having multiple emotional peaks. It just, we've almost never saw that, because it's like, even if you have one scene or whatever, some part of it is the strongest one. So most of the ads struggle with having not enough emotional peaks. So having more of them, it's enough. And I think that you don't have to think about really decharging some parts of the ad. It's more, if you keep it easy to understand, you were thinking about having multiple peaks, repeating some idea, you typically don't have a problem with emotion. But one thing to emotional development, if you're using negative emotional strategies, for example, if you're an insurance company and you're using negative fear emotions, something like that, or some whatever bad things, make sure that when you introduce the brand, and you have to do this fast, you're already turning it into jokes or into positive emotion. Otherwise, your negative emotion gets linked to the brand and doesn't. For example, Mayhem, the US Allstate character, their insurance company, they have this negative Mayhem character, and they used to have great ads because they were able to turn it fast into the positive emotion. Sometimes they struggle with some ads that it's staying negative too long, and basically people feel bad after watching that and doesn't work the brand at all. Even more specific, will advertising agencies, as they are now, operate as such in perspective? I'm not sure I understand this question. Like, will they use this perspective for the TV ads? Perhaps. Not sure. I'll try to answer that one, and you can re-ask if you think that was a different question. Overall, we see that there's two types of agencies. Those who are like more performance oriented and not that trained in traditional marketing often struggle to have this perspective for brand building. Most of the agencies like know the basics about emotional building. They sometimes still use those like typical story arcs. So that's one thing we often see, that agencies don't know about advertising, and definitely they always want to have strong creative, and they are willing to have a weaker branding. So you should, as brand managers, you should definitely make sure that the agency delivers strong branding. And also those mindshare building by linking different occasions one by one in campaigns. That's something quite new in the marketing science. And often agencies think about brand building as basically like linking great emotions to a brand, which is good. But if you do this by also linking the brand to the triggers, it works better, it's more effective. So that's something definitely, those agencies that use this framework and pretest for that, they're even more commercially successful. We work, for example, for VCCP, and they won a lot of pitches by using our pretesting. So they already, and the whole framework, hey, we're gonna build mindshare one by one, and this idea is already pretested on your target audience. It's really hard for the client to say, no, we would go with this agency and their eloquent creative director. This works. With branding being so important for small brands, what do you think about the trend of the new brands focusing on social only and virality, where branding is weak? I have a strong opinion. It's a waste of money, and you can see this on the overall data. I think again, I think it was Peter Field or someone, or Les Binet, the marketing scientist from UK, who used the data, or how much are brands spending on advertising overall, and how much money they are getting back from it, how much like market share growth and other they see, and it's getting every year is getting lower and lower, and that's because most of the marketing teams in small brands are not trained in the traditional marketing, and though there's a lot of news in terms of technology, the principles of brain, they don't change. And what used to work before still works now, though we have more understanding to that. So I'm not saying that all the traditional ways to do advertising were great, but definitely they were more effective than those low branded performance ads. And I definitely suggest to check a 95-5 rule if you're even a big brand, but definitely if you're a small brand, which is saying most of your future customers, most of your future profits, future sales is creating demand for the people who are not ready to buy. So 95% of your market is not ready to buy now. They are out of the market right now, and they are not responsive to clicks and to any detailed like product features or whatever. So the only thing you can do is use emotion with strong branding and connecting to the needs, so that they're more likely to buy you, to think about you, to remember you in 3 months, in 6 months when they're ready to buy. And those small companies who understand this, they're growing much faster. We work for some of the fastest growing EU brands like Kiwi or Octagon, like Spectator Sports, and if you understand the brand building as a small brand, you're growing much faster. Typically those brands who don't shift their budgets soon enough from performance to brand building, they get to a thing called performance plateau. Basically their growth is stalled, and that's because they harvested most of the existing demand on the market, those people who are ready to buy with those clickable ads or whatever, and then the only way how to grow over that period is to be building mindshare, building brand, and they don't know that. Please share materials. Yes, we'll do that. What do you generally think about advertising and how it will develop as an industry in the next 10 years? Oh, that's a wide question. Well, definitely it will be more AI. We already see that there's agencies are struggling sometimes. It's hard to be working in advertising and creative these days. So that's one trend. It will be more the brands using the AI are taking some of the creative work, especially those smaller campaigns, in-house. As a trend, well, frankly, after like last decade was really in terms of the performance, like the performance marketing was like the talk of the day. Now what we've seen in the past 2 or 3 years, it's that a lot of brands realized that brand building is important. It was even the mistake that some of the well-known brands did, like Adidas or Nike. They were doing well with most of the budgets on brand building, but then they somehow shifted it to the performance marketing, and then they realized that it's not bringing the money back. So Adidas realized this 2 years ago. Nike learned the hard way just a few months ago, and Airbnb, after 4 years ago, they shifted a lot of their performance to brand building. They started to grow faster. For the first time, they saw the profit at the end of the year. So those examples, I think, somehow started the shift in how many brands like approach brand building. But still, I don't know, a lot of brands, especially again with the new trend in AI, I am afraid that the people will think that the technology itself will save you, but it's how to use AI. You can use definitely AI to do great mindshare brand building ads, but if you don't have the proper framework, it won't help you. So I think there's always some trend that is coming, and people they are like, wow, I'll use it, it will save me, and it won't, and it will cause a huge waste of money. In 10 years, who knows what will happen with advertising. Let's hope it will be learning a lot about how to create mindshare effectively. How much do cultural factors influence ad effectiveness in the Dutch market compared to global campaigns? I don't think we have enough data to say that, but what we see is that cultural factors are often not as strong as you think. There are like bunch of the let's say clusters across the Europe, where so if you're global or if you're all across the Europe as a brand, you definitely need to think about different creatives, but not for each country. So there's factors and there's clusters, but overall it's just I think there was a huge trend of those like purpose oriented or like culturally oriented ads. They were never as effective as they were thought to be anywhere. So again, if you do emotion relevant for the country, then you have this linking to the actual need that is connected to the product. You always be better than with some like purpose oriented campaigns that were often, you've perhaps heard about the backlashes for like Budweiser in the US and things like that. So it's rarely a good strategy to go after like cultural trends rather than these like straightforward link connection to the links. To the needs. Thanks for the answer. No question here. Just wanted to say thanks and appreciate the great webinar. Oh, thank you very much. Happy to see you all at our next webinar. There's definitely going to be a next webinar until the end of the summer, other than the events that I already talked to. Please let's connect on LinkedIn or whatever. I hope you'll find more of the great content with us. We have some tools. Check our website. We have cards on the lead magnet, on the brand codes I was mentioning briefly. We also created, just 2 weeks ago, we created a great checklist for TV ads as well. So you have the checklist for branding, need, emotion, other than just testing, and yeah, that's good. That could help as well. So that's it for now. Have a great day, and hopefully see you all soon. Thank you very much.